Hello world, Michael here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about friendship or friendships. I recently participated in a group discussion about our experiences with friendship or friendships, whether it was easy, was it hard, just generally what was it like making friends. Disclaimer, I'm not a mental health professional, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. These are my experiences and opinions, and I may or may not talk about suicide, self-harm. So just a little warning there, and that I'm okay. So, yeah. Anyways, without further ado, about friendships or friendship. I'm still trying to figure that out or redefine what friendship is or what a friend is. I've been struggling of coming from a place where I'm just thinking like, well, most of the people I meet or just interact with, they just become acquaintances. So there's not really a relationship there, so to speak. Maybe it's very like minimal or uh, I guess I wanted to say minimal relationship, but there's a term there I can't think off the top of my head, but um, I don't know. I see a lot of like just people I've talked to, met, that like at first like, oh, I thought like this is going to be like a friendship or whatever, and either we drifted apart or communication just stopped, um, or it just seemed like one person wasn't very interested anymore, um, or lost interest. So I kind of just start thinking like, oh, they're just acquaintances. They weren't really, a friend per se. Um, so I see that a lot more recently. Um, but like thinking about my childhood, I wouldn't really consider like friends I made. Again, this is just me reflecting now, though I like to think of it like they were just acquaintances, especially growing up. I moved around a lot because my dad was in the military. So there wasn't a whole lot of time. I mean, 3, 4 years is quite a bit of a time, but um, that's me. It was kind of expected, like the other kids you meet or whatever. Um, like we're not going to really know each other for very long. So either like, oh, I could have met someone one day and then the next day they're gone, or 1 week has gone by and they're gone. There wasn't really, at least in my experience, there wasn't a whole lot of talk like, hey, I'm leaving next week or whatever. At least I don't remember that a whole bunch because I was a kid and now I'm way older than I was back then. But just thinking about it, like the people I met, like I thought some people were my friends, and I don't know, I wanted them to be my friends, but they were in a different group of people, or like they cultivated a group of people that seemed to, I don't know, either they only wanted to be around each other, and I kind of, I guess I felt kind of like all right, I'm like the outcast kind of a kid, or I don't really belong here. And I don't know if that impacts me now today because I struggle with trying to figure out where I belong. Um, and maybe that partly impacted me today because moving around a lot, there wasn't like a foundational relationship with a person or people. Um, and I envy like a lot of people, or not, I guess not a lot of people, but people who have friends since childhood, like having a friend like, oh, we've known each other since kindergarten, and we've been friends since since then. We've gone through middle school, high school together, and then college. Despite like splitting or going to different colleges or whatever, they're still in contact with each other and whatnot, and they just have this like just strong bond. I unfortunately don't have that. Um, that that couldn't. I mean, that was not possible. Just moving around a lot as a military kid. So Um, I don't know. And it's just interesting because I think about those people I've met and I'm like, I wonder what they're up to. And I tried reconnecting with some of them, I guess in my early years of high school, moving back to the States. But they're just like different people. And I guess I had this kind of expectation, this blind expectation of like thinking they'll be the same, like same people, or even the expectation like thinking they'll want to be like, oh yeah, like what you've been up to. And yeah, I didn't really get that kind of feedback. It was just more like, oh yeah, we don't really talk, so like what is this for? That's the perception I kind of get in my head. So unfortunately, like any those kinds of like relationships or attempts to reconnect with those people didn't really go anywhere, unfortunately. But I still think about those people I've met, you know, like where they're at, what are they doing. I'm wondering, like, is anyone else struggling like I am that I've met um, as a kid or even in middle school? Um, so, and then I don't know, going through high school, again, like I would hang out with maybe the same two or three people for a while. Um, I went to two different high schools. One high school, I really only made one friend who I still talk to this day, which I'm thankful for. I'm glad we did like have a period of time where we didn't really talk, didn't really communicate. Things just went silent, um, which I feel bad about, and also that I live in a different area now or a different state, and they live still in the same place. And I don't know. I just feel bad that I'm not there, like like in proximity wise. So there's no like physical like you can't hang out like we used to, which I miss. And I've apologized to this person, like, I feel like like sorry for like leaving him behind, kind of a thing. And I wish we could just hang out sometimes. Or fortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but fortunately, like we're still able to like play games together, which is fantastic. I guess that's one of the positives of the internet. And just talk too, which I'm trying to be better at more recently. So I'm still thankful that this person is still like in my life, and that I'm a part of their life, I suppose. So yeah, if you're watching, you are awesome. And yeah, I went to another high school, and that's when I like hung out with like I guess two or three people pretty consistently, like either on lunch or during like whatever they were called breaks or whatever, uh during during school hours or whatever. And I don't know, a handful of them or two of them, I would probably just consider them acquaintances. I mean, we had some good laughs, some silly moments and stuff like that, which was cool, but like nothing really like lasting, I guess, so to speak. I think they or we tried to reconnect, but yeah, our just lives just went different directions and stuff like that. However, there was one person that ended up being a big part of my life, who I even would consider being like a best friend of mine. Well, former best friend, which I'll get to here in just a few minutes. Um, and I don't know, we did a lot together. We had a lot in common, and yeah, I mean, doing a lot together, like experiencing different activities and stuff like that. Uh, I don't know, to me, made our relationship stronger, I suppose, and just being able to talk about certain subjects and stuff like that. I think that was also like something that, you know, kindred our relationship or whatever. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, I decided to end that relationship when I moved away. And they actually came to visit me. And I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what I did, but I do remember ending the relationship for whatever reason. And I still think about it. Feel a lot of guilt, regret, and I guess a little bit of shame about the whole thing. And I tried reconnecting with this person, like maybe like a couple years later, and I don't even know if I even apologize. I don't remember. I'm like more focused on like, I guess, how I feel, or maybe how they must have felt, like betrayed and stuff like that, and angry, and I guess shocked maybe. And I wish I could take it back. I guess that's where like the regret is coming from. Is like I wish I didn't do so, and reconnecting it was just not going to be the same again, unfortunately, which I was sad about. And trying to reconnect, I kind of just let it dwindled. Just kind of just slowly stopped talking or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it seemed like they were in a better place, I suppose. Well, I guess better than where I'm at or where I was. But I, yeah, just something I think about from time to time that I wish I didn't do, I suppose. Or, um, yeah. Um, but anyways, I guess, I guess where I'm going with this is just leading into adulthood or late adulthood. I don't know. Adulthood doesn't end, so I guess after high school it doesn't end. But making friends when you're older really really sucks, especially in your 30s. It's really hard, very very challenging, and for me personally, like just um, regardless of the age, it's just like hard to, especially when I come from a place where I'm like, I have a hard time believing or thinking where I belong, finding a place, a group of people where I feel like, oh, I feel like, I'm part of my people. Um, I have a really difficult time with that. And, also, coincide with like just stuff I've done, my mistakes, whether or not I deserve a second, third, fourth chance with just being able to interact with people, or if I am even like if I'm worthy enough to, I don't know, to talk to someone, or receive, or yeah, I guess receive kindness from other people. Since making a lot of mistakes that I for whatever reason holding on to, because I'm still trying to figure out how to forgive myself. Um, but I've tried befriending, or no, I have befriended a neighbor who turned out to be like 40 or 50 years older than me, which was a really great person. There were another person that was very big, I don't know, a big impact of my life, I suppose. Experienced lived a lot of different things with them. They saw a lot of good things in me for whatever reason, and I'm downplaying that. I'm aware of that. But unfortunately, they passed away due to illness, and I don't know. I don't know if I ever processed that grief or whatever, because I think about them, from time to time. I miss them. I considered them to being like a grandparent figure. Um, yeah, I mean, like they trusted me, and like, take care of their dogs, just like house sitting, doing like their yard, um, stuff like that. So I am thankful to being able to experience that. I unfortunately kind of like just fell off, I don't know, the social um, care or caring about socializing or keeping up with uh, just people. And I haven't spoken to their spouse or widow, I suppose. And they are also, I mean, a big part of part of my life. I remember getting accepted to a university, and I decided to go over there, like, I don't know, in the early evening and share like the news that I got, and startled them, startled them. And this is like their first, I don't know, months of being home alone since the person passed away or their spouse passed away. Um, I don't know. A part of me sometimes would like to like talk, but at the same time, it's just like I put this, I don't know, thing in my head was like, they probably think I'm a failure or that I keep screwing up. I'm not worth uh talking to, blah blah blah. Um and I'm also just scared of being told those things like, oh, you need to get your act together. And like, I know that I'm trying, it's hard. But yeah, I mean, again, they were a big part of my life, and I was there with them through the thick and thin. So, but other than that, I would always try to like befriend coworkers, or just, I'm not really befriend, but like I'm just act nice, I suppose, or whatever. Uh, and I remember working a summer job, and I got along with my lead uh, very well, and some or most of the coworkers. And I don't know, they invited me, to like go, if they have like a kid's birthday party or whatever, they would invite me, or even just to, I guess, I think at one point like to play Pokemon, which was which is a good experience. Uh, um, since like leaving that job, because it was like a summer job, I don't really talk to them a whole lot. I do still like keep in contact with my former lead, which is nice because we share some similar interests, which is good. And it's weird because even when I was hospitalized, uh, they came to visit. Like, what the heck? I don't know. I say what the heck because I'm like, I go back to my head like, I don't know if I'm deserving of this kind of attention, or I don't mean to like bother people or whatever. Like, I'm just, you know, a bother, I guess. Um, but I mean, I suppose I'm thankful. I don't know. I'm in this weird place in my life right now where I'm just like, I don't know about people. Even though like I feel lonely and I try to like or socialize with people and try to, I don't know. I want to say make uh like some kind of relationship, a friend, um, despite also not really wanting to, um, because I don't know, a part of me is like thinking about my neighbor passing away. I'm just like, well, we're all gonna die anyway, so what's the point? Or something may happen, or I'll ruin the relationship again, or I'll throw it away, or whatever. I'll do something stupid, and they'll hate me and whatever, or I'll hate myself or more or whatever. So it's just like, I don't know. And on top of like what the mistakes I've made in my past, is just like, I don't know if I deserve it or whatever. Um, but another person that also, all these things are making me questioning my ability or abilities to make and maintain friendships, or relationships, and questioning if I'm too much for people. Um, because I deal with mental health stuff, issues and stuff like that. I have my stuff. I have my own baggage, and sometimes I think like people probably think I'm just too much. um, so I'm like, well, I guess I'll just talk to myself. Anyways, this person, I've met them years ago, playing my very first MMORPG. which was Guild Wars 1. um, and I was looking for a guild or a group of people to play with, and lo and behold, I was invited and ended up, I don't know, talking, chit chatting, doing silly things, participating in stuff, playing together, playing the video game together. Um, and years gone by, and I decided to go visit them. I say them because there were like a group of them that lived in the same area, and they were all like, I guess, childhood friends. So I decided to go visit them, and that was a cool experience. I'd never been to that area before, and I don't know, meeting them in person. I don't know, it's just nice to remove the screen, a computer screen, and then you're like talking to them in person, and um, also just they're like, I don't know, accepting, I guess, because the person I stayed with, they allowed me to stay at their place and whatnot, which was really cool. Um, and show me around town, stuff like that. However, again, when I moved away, we kind of like lost connection. Didn't really keep up very much, and we weren't really into the same video games. Like, this taste just changed. Like, I was not really into first person shooters anymore, and they were still into them. And I was kind of like wanted the more chill games. But one of them actually ended up moving out this way, and I tried reconnecting them a few times, or a couple of times, or a handful of times. And then there would be times where like, oh, we reconnected, and then there would be times like, oh, like things fizzled out, and I'm like, life happens or stuff happens. Um, so it's I don't know, the socialization isn't consistent. Um, so we're not talking consistently, like, either even once a month or something like that. It'll just go bland for a bit. Um, but this past year, I tried reconnecting due to like just being in a very bad place. I shared that I was suicidal and stuff like that. And it saddens me because they knew about like my struggles and stuff in the past, and that's possibly, I mean, not possibly, that's where I start to think like, oh, they're probably tired of me, like tired of me, or complaining, tired of me making the same mistakes that I have made. So it's like, oh, this dude's just a lost cause. Kind of, let me dispose, dispose, um, just ignore or wherever. So I tried asking for help in a way when I shared that. I didn't directly ask for help, but I don't know. I was hospitalized. I was kind of expecting, and I don't know if it's wrong to expect that. Like, thinking that he was a friend, expecting they would at least ask, like, "Hey, can I visit you while you're here?" I even remember because it was in I forgot what it was, like, in hospitalization on a clinic, but so you're able to like go off. I want to say campus, but off the premises, and like wander around town. We could even go home if we got approved for like the weekend, but then we needed to be back for the week. And I remember a time where I stayed like near campus. It's weird kind of saying that because I think campus of college, but I remember asking them like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" Because where I was not as far as where I live from this person. And I don't remember what was their answer or reason. They were probably busy or something, or they had to do something the next day or whatever. But I don't know. It just makes me sad. Like, I asked that, and then like another weekend comes by, and there's no conversation about like, oh, like, you know, like, you asked me blah 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 last weekend. I'm free today or whatever. Or even during that conversation was like, oh, maybe like next time, or maybe like, hey, I'm actually free this day. Like, hey, we can go do something or something. But yeah, I didn't get that kind of response, unfortunately. Um, but which makes me sad because at that point when I was employed, someone from work ended up coming to visit me, and I'm just like, looking at it right now, I'm just like, again, I go back to the deserving part. Like, I don't think I deserve that. Like, but, and it's hard for me right now to see like that was a nice gesture. That was a nice thing of that person to do. Um, but just clouded with a lot of negativity in my brain, a lot of self hatred, I guess you could say. Um, but when I got out, some months went by. Left my job and tried to ask the same person that I tried asking to hang out or whatever, asking for like directly asking for help, like, hey, because I normally don't get out the house very much. So I ended up asking like, hey, can you something? I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the message anymore. I don't talk to them anymore. Asking about like, hey, can you help me get out of the house? Pretty much. That was pretty much the question. And I never got a response. Never got a response. So, yeah. I shared that with my therapist at the time about it, and they seemed sad that, when I asked for help, I don't know, I guess I didn't receive it or whatever. So it's unfortunate that that happened. And then after that, I guess I tried to just take the initiative myself. All right, it frustrates me because I put in this head, like in my head, where it's like, all right, I cannot count on anyone. The only person I can count on is myself. And I have a hard time, I don't know, putting that on a scale of like, oh, the only person I can really count on is only myself. But like, and then another part of me is like, well, aren't people supposed to help each other? Or I don't know. Weren't we put on this planet to help one another? Living in Western society, it dictates no, we're not here to help each other anymore. I feel like it's a push to being an individual, only person, your interests are very important to your own, no one else's. And I don't know, it makes me sad. Thinking about those things. So anyways, I tried or attempting, I don't know, I'm still debating whether or not I still want to attend, going to a meetup, which is more like a professional sense because I'm trying to change careers or whatever. But I am trying to meet people that way, but at the same time, like, probably not the best way because it's more like focus on, at least when I've gone to the meetups, it's like been like, just, I don't know, either one career focus or job related. Like, there would be like a moment during the meetup or in the events would be like, is anyone hiring or whatever? Unfortunately not. But yeah, I mean, I met a few people there, but unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know, anxiety kind of like just builds up. For example, the last time I went to the meetup, which was like last month, I was invited to like go out and have I don't know, dinner or just, I don't know, eat a snack or something. And we did this before a few meetups before that. And this one, I don't know. I was kind of expecting to be like just me and this other person, which again, I guess that's just a false expectation or just too high of an expectation. Just I only say that because I don't know, or I say that like I was expecting that because this person like came to me. At least that's what it seemed like. When they got there during the meetup, and they're like, "Hey, long time no see," something like that, and we try to catch up and stuff like that. But I don't know, it didn't really go anywhere, I suppose. I mean, it was nice that I was kind of like up at that moment. I was like, yeah, sure, we can go. And then they wanted to invite other people, which I understand that it's nice to get other people involved and not one on one. But there was also another person that was there that I met um, a few months ago, or a couple months ago, or a month before that event. Um, and I thought we hit it off pretty good. And I asked like, "Hey, you want to like, we're gonna go grab something to eat. You want to come?" And they're like, "Nah, blah blah blah," some kind of reason. And I was like, "Oh, all right," And they end up saying next time, and I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, okay." Because I don't know. Whenever I hear someone give, I don't want to say an excuse or a reason or whatever, I start to think, they really don't want to. So like, what's the point? Um, I don't know. That's where my mind wanders and whatnot. And I was there and waiting for the person to like ask people. They ended up like trying to have conversations with other people, and I just kind of like started distancing myself from the other people. It was kind of comical and also sad because I just like just to say every 5 minutes I would just like take a step back and just start heading towards the door while I wait. Um, or not do anything. And a part of me is like, I'm my fault because I didn't take the initiative to like, okay, let maybe take this this moment as an opportunity to go meet people and talk. Um, but I didn't, so I failed that aspect, which is unfortunate, and that's on me. I get it. Um, I don't know. It's just hard, especially that kind of group or meetup. It's kind of cultivated to professionals in that field, and yeah, I'm still learning. Um, so I already had like a baseline where I don't feel like I belong here. I feel like I'm out of place here because I'm still learning, and all these people are like either former professionals or they're still in the field, or they have a job, and I'm still just like a little tip of the iceberg of learning. But yeah, and I don't know. People that I meet that are either in relationships, kind of changing gears here is, I don't know, because I meet a lot of people who are in relationships, and I'm just like, I don't know. There's a lot of, I don't know, resentment toward that because I put this in my head where I'm like, they don't really want to hang around me. Like, they got their important person or whatever best friend they need to tend to. So it's like, why? Like, why am I talking to this person? Because I know they're just going to go flee the scene or whatever and go toward their other half, or so to speak. So I don't know. For me, anyway, I'm trying to look for other people who are just single, I guess. I've tried, or I guess I'll just say I tried befriending someone who we kind of seemed to share the same values when I was hospitalized. But however, they are married or in a relationship, and I personally felt like it was uh unstable, unsteady. I never mentioned it to them because I felt like I'd probably come off as rude or whatever, or needy. And maybe I am. But for me, I just think like I feel I feel like I don't know, just being around someone who's married or even in a romantic relationship, I'm just like stay away from me kind of a thing. Um, I I just feel like I'm not as important, which rightfully so. But like I don't know, when I talk to them, it's either they want to talk about their spouse, talk about things they did together. It's just stuff like that going on in their life. I'm like, that's great. I don't have anyone like that to talk about. um, and or it'll be like, oh, if I ask them to like, hey, you want to hang out? It's like, oh, I got this thing to go to with my spouse or blah blah blah. And I'm just like, oh, all right, maybe next time, which probably never happens. But I don't know. This is a lot of, I guess, resentment and just frustration about the whole thing, about befriending or being friends with people who are in relationships like that. It's frustrating because, and I understand it. They just become their other person, their spouse or whatever. That becomes, their priority, or like someone, they're like that they can count on, and they can count on them. Blah blah blah. And I'm just some person trying to, I don't know, create some form of relationship. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's my experiences with friendship and friends in general. I don't really have many friends, and I'm trying to cultivate that because loneliness is a bit of a, yeah, it's a bit of a handful, or that's a struggle. And that, I don't know, desire or the need to want to feel like I belong somewhere is really strong, I suppose, because I feel like I haven't found my place yet, and I guess maybe that coincides with purpose. I don't know. Still thinking about that stuff, but yeah. If you made it to the end of this video, like, subscribe, dislike, do whatever. I don't know. You're in no obligation to do any of those things, but yeah. Till next time. Bye bye.